Alright, what's going on? Take 3. Trying to stream. Hope everything's straight. Checking the stream out right now. Tried streaming earlier, doing some Unreal Engine stuff, and that was basically a no-go. So, figured I needed to take a break from client work anyways, because I've been just kind of pushing myself to the brim. So we're just gonna do this idea that I've had in my head, and yeah, we're gonna take it from there. It's basically gonna be a scene from scratch. Hopefully everything goes according to plan and how I have it in my head. I will say I'm very tired at the moment, but I'm gonna power through. Hopefully be able to kind of talk through some of the techniques and processes that I'm going through, but for the most part it's going to be a lot of importing models, compositing, and then just kind of going with the flow of things. Anyways, I'm going to get started. I'm working out of Blender 2.9.1. I know there's Blender 2.93. I just don't have any of my add-ons or plugins installed, so I'm just going to work with 2.9. I'm not too worried about rendering it out at this moment. Main goal tonight will be to try and get through the scene and make what we're going to do. So I fired open Blender. I got the opening scene. If you're ever wondering how to kind of move these screens around, generally it looks like this when you start. You can always right click on any of these lines and you can do a horizontal or a vertical split. Another way to do it is if you kind of drag. I'm always bad about this, but if you drag one way, you can kind of close out another screen. But cool. And then to save it, you can go to File, Defaults, and then Save Startup File. So if you didn't want to start by deleting the default cube every time you start the render up, or the start Blender up, you can save it, save yourself the delete. But we're just going to delete everything in the scene, start from scratch, starting out in Eevee. Let's get into it. So the concept I have is basically like, I got this Air Force One model. I kind of had something previously working on it, like an idea of like it being floating, but my concept behind it is kind of like the blueprint for the Air Force One, like the all generic white Air Force One that everyone has, like the clouds, but it's stored in like a vault and guarded by like laser beams so no one can get to it, just so that if they ever ran out of making Air Forces, you have to go to this vault to get it. So that's what we're going to work with. I do have some reference images, which is always good to work with, of some vaults. I also have some 3D models of some vaults. This was the original concept that I had. Yeah, a couple of vault doors that we're going to work with. I like this style, and I definitely want to try and replicate this, but we will see. Let's start importing some models in. Oh. Alright, let's get into it. Definitely, if you have questions, I will have the stream chat open on my MacBook, so I will be monitoring. But in case I don't hit it, no worries. I will be checking the chat as I go. But I am gonna kind of just start powering through. It's already 10 p.m. and I got work tomorrow and a lot of other work to do tonight. So I just gotta find the Air Force model I have. Check my phone too. Alright, let's see. Models 2020 clothing Air Force One. I hope I have like a clean white slated Air Force. I'd hope I do. Let's try something else. Yeah, it's, as you can see, my my folder system is insane. I see Calvin's in the chat. What's good, man? Alright, so I just imported this shoe from my previous template. I'm gonna get it set up. Just clear out all these values. Delete the keyframes. Get it centered. And then just gonna make sure that it's location wise it's centered in the world. Cool. So now I gotta put some good materials on this shoe, because I want to say it was a gold texture that is no longer. I don't have that gold texture on the shoe at the moment. I mean, maybe gold would be dope, but I think white I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Oof. Alright. I'm just gonna break this node tree. Grab a principal BSDF, pop it in. Let's get cooking. I am gonna get a HDRI loaded in, just so I can work with just some default lighting. Cool. Alright, let's get the HDRI out of here. It's like a little too bright. We gotta work on this texture. There's gotta be something we can do to change it. Maybe add a normal map. Do like a noise texture, and then we're gonna try and bump it down. That isn't quite what I'm looking for. Normal map is actually a good idea. A little too high. Sorry if my keyboard's super loud. It's one of those clicky keyboards. I like to kind of smack it every so often. Alright, that should be good for the shoe. Let's save it, because I don't want to have it crash. Alright, resaved up. Let's start getting some more assets in here. Let's get ourselves a floor. So I have two different ideas. So there's going to be the vault room, and then there's going to be the outside the vault. And hopefully I'll be able to, the model I have for the vault, I can just import and then animate. Scale this up on the X. And times that by 2. So we will call this floor. We're going to call this outside the vault. Make a couple collections. Alright, let's get the vault in here. I totally just drew a blank. Oh yeah. Vault number 2. Object. I actually haven't opened this model, so this could be interesting. see. This one definitely, at least this model, I'm pretty sure looks like this. Same style. The other vault model I have, a little bit more like bank style, looks just like that. So I'm going to probably play with both of them. I'm thinking about going with the first one, but I want to check out how well the model is put together. I believe there is a rig, as you can kind of see with these lines. So hopefully that will allow me to quickly assemble this. But let me throw these all into a collection. Oh, lost track. So let me do ground vault. All right, let's back out and see what we got working with. So this might. Match up the floors really quickly. Actually, I might just delete that. Don't need that. All right, we're kind of getting there. What material is this thing working with? I kind of want some more. I want like a metal look to it, and that's not metal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in a bunch of materials of metals that I've used in the past. I found them on the internet. I believe this is what I'm looking for. And we're just going to bring all of them in. Delete the sphere that came with it. Let's get cooking. Alright, so I'm just going to start messing around with some of these. That's not doing what I wanted to do. Let's try chrome. Alright, but it is showing the HDRI, which I don't want to do. Also, I need like a brushed metal. Brushed metal with some scratches. So before I get too far, I'm gonna open up Quixel Bridge, which is great. Plenty of assets that you can get for free from Quixel Bridge. They are owned by Epic Games, so you just need an Epic Games account. But yeah, no, it's a super useful, and hopefully I'll be able to find the type of metal that I'm looking for. That ain't it. Brush metal, let's see. Yikes, look at the mapping, or looking at the mapped nodes for these nodes. It's crazy. Not quite. Is there anything I can do in here that might help? Let's see, scale up the Musgrave a bit. Didn't do much. Yeah, this ain't it. Keep searching. Tinted metal. Try steel. All right, let's see what they got on Quixel Bridge for metal assets. Like I said, this is a great tool. You can import right into Blender or Unreal Engine. I like that brushed steel. Really cool about Quixel, all really high quality objects, surfaces, materials. I'm just going to use the 2K texture because I don't really need 4K clogging up the scene, but I may bring in a couple other 4K textures later on. Let's see, brushed steel. That'll do. Alright, I just gotta now change all of these to brushed steel. Thankfully, a lot of these materials are already linked. As you can see right here in the materials panel, if you see like 22, all that means is that a bunch of objects are all linked to the same material, which can save you a lot of time rather than having to go through like hundreds of different assets to change them all. Doesn't look like they're all changing though at the same time, which normally they do. Either way, we'll get through them all. Or enough of them that you can't see the others. Definitely for the floor, I want to find like a marble tile. Something similar to the references I have, but also I don't mind switching it up a bit. That actually looks decent. Let's just check out. Quick save. Constantly be saving my work. It's the only way to survive in this business. So let's actually check out this. I can't tell. Are these empties? Deadbolt empty. Okay, so that's that. Let's find the door. So that's the lock. Alright, so these are empties, not rigs. So just gotta figure out what's what. Oh, it's already animated? No way. That's too easy. It's a little slow though. Here, let me just go into a solid view. Okay, I can work with that. I mean, that makes my job 10 times easier. We'll see if I want to change it. I need to reverse it though, so I'm gonna have to go through and reverse all of the keyframes. Shouldn't be a big deal, but we'll add that to the list. I need to find something for the floor. Let's see what I got on my reference image. I don't like that floor. That was definitely a render. I like this one, like the paneled marble with a nice reflection popping off on it. I do like the lights too. That's a good touch. I'll have to add some in. But yeah, let's multiply the floor by 2 on the width, and also by 2 on the y-axis. Actually, that should be good. Alright, now I gotta extend this wall, which I'm most likely gonna do in edit mode. So I'm just gonna basically use the edges of this to extend it outwards. The X. Missed that one. Try that again. Cool. Same thing on the other side. Nice. How big? This might be just like a camera trick that I'm gonna do, but alright, so you do see the sides of it. Let me put a camera down. Let's just get it going. Quickly adjust my camera. Gonna center it up. Let's do like -25. Actually, this might be a little too big. It's not bad. How tall is the ceiling? I gotta come down. Just go to like a 1.5. Do like a 95-degree angle, and then it does kind of look off, but all right, I'll just keep extruding these edges. I'll fix the ground in a second. Oh. That's kind of close. Oh! I always do that. If you hit H while highlighting everything, it'll just make everything kind of disappear. Alright, almost there. Let us get a floor that will work. So I'm looking for like, kind of do like a marble material. Take a sip of my tea in the meantime. I like this. I don't like the color of it, but I do like the design of it. So we'll work with it. Download this one. I'm gonna do 4K for this. Export that one to Blender. That's kind of nice. I don't need the copper though. Also kind of nice with the gold. That could be cool. We'll download it, see how it looks. Oh, just re-exported that. That's kind of nice. I could probably bump down the roughness map and then get some nice reflections going on that. Check the reference one more time. The lights will be cool. Get nice nice lighting in the scene. It's probably the first time in a hot minute that I've actually put a roof on a render. Generally I don't use roofs because it adds more bounces to the light and it takes longer render times, but tonight, no need to worry about that. That's basically it. Let's play around with some of them. I already feel my computer cranking out some heat. See what we got. We'll start with the brush steel, see how that looks. Alright. The gold inlay. Alright, that's way too big. I also don't like the designs. I think it just adds way too much. It needs to be flat. Can't remember the other names of. Oh, there it is. This is the one I was high hopes for. All right, we'll work with it. I'm gonna delete the floor and do a 2x2. So let me add that material again. See how it looks. That's much better. I don't feel like UV mapping it at all, so I'm just going to do this quick little hack I like to do. Use a 2x2 plane, and then use an array modifier. And essentially, oh, I hit bevel by mistake. Use an array modifier. So essentially, I can just add numerous planes to this. So what I can do is now add that. Let's line it up just beneath our wall. Add to the other side. And then we'll balance that out just so they're kind of even. And then add I'll basically apply that so it's now all one function, and add another array modifier, and we're going to change the x value to 1 on the y, and then we can basically add as many as we need. Let's do like 20. Will that work? I don't really know if I want it to be a different texture on the inside, so we'll cross that bridge when it gets there, but let's see how this looks. Not thrilled at the moment, but I guess it'll get better, hopefully. Alright, what's the roughness map on this thing? The camera's at a weird angle where it's like not exactly showing me what I need it to. Maybe it's the HDRI actually. Let's try like a 0.25. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on it, but one step at a time. Alright, so I need another metal material. I need something that's like tiled, or like almost like, you know, vault, super secure. I can definitely tell how tired I am. I'm just like between the heat in this room and just mistyping everything. It's rough. Is there a tiled metal? Surfaces. Ooh, that's kind of nice. This is kind of what I'm looking for. It's a little more rough than I am anticipating, but it's close. Getting further and further away. Let's export the metal panels material in. Take another sip of my tea. Just gotta find the material now. Metal panels. This I might actually have to UV wrap. Second. Is there like a roughness on this that I can change? Alright, let's get rid of the sun lamp. Let us change around the... I gotta find a better HDRI. Maybe I just do away with it and actually properly light the scene. Might be a good idea. Alright, well, let's add a roof. Makeshift roof, quick save. Give the roof the same material as the walls. That. Actually, let's just duplicate the floor, bring it up. That will probably be a lot easier. Cool, we're getting there. I'm going to change the focal length on the camera to 35. Shoe. What is that? Let's make some lights. See, this is kind of why I hate working with roofs, is because then you have to find the sweet spot of your scene. I like the panels around the safe, which we can certainly try and add those in later, but let's make a light. So the quick way I'm going to do this so that it's the most efficient, because Blender's lights aren't the greatest. I'm going to make a bunch of planes and then add emission materials to them, and then I'm going to basically like rig them up. Let's just get a good look. Alright, so it's like a white with like a square rectangle around it. So maybe it's good to do a solid rectangle. I will just work with it. Get rid of the floors. Well, first off, let's move them into their proper. Right, let's see if I can work my my modeling magic. Just give it an emission shader. Scroll up to the top. Do like 3. Actually, this, bring it just above. We will give it not an emission material. Principal BSDF, we'll make it black. Add some metallic to it. Roughness. Don't want shine coming off. And then what I'm going to do is just basically extend each edge. want to do. Too far. Took about the same. Cool. How's that looking? Do this one by one. Oh, let's take a look. The reason why I did it this way as opposed to modeling it all together and then texturing the two layers differently is just want to make sure that I get the light style right, and then let's see. Take one more look at the reference. Alright, and then just gonna make the cylinders, I guess. Easier way to do that is to scale her down. We need our... Oh, come on now. Oh, that already looks so much better once you start turning on some of the render options with ambient occlusion. That looks nice. All right, let's get these lined up. Alright, so quick way to easily do this so I don't have to make a bunch of them, add an array modifier, and then just we'll try and eye it. Give these give them a dark, I'll just keep it black. I feel like the materials could be like slightly bigger, or they're just like slightly off-centered. I'm not sure. Alright, so what I am going to do though is I'm going to add some subsurface modifiers to some of these just to give them some sharpness. It's not going to matter too much because it's such a small item, but that should be even. All right, and then to basically combine all three of these into one object, I'm just going to highlight all three of them, and then in the viewport hit Control J, and now it is all one functioning light as I want it to be. And then that way, if I want to duplicate, Shift D, I can just start dragging them. But that will definitely make the scene a whole lot better, having like actual lights as opposed to the HDRI, especially because the HDRI is a photo studio one. It's not really a good one for what I'm trying to do, but actually maybe it'll be better if we can't go that high. Needs to be like just a hair smaller. Alright, so what I can do now to make things even easier is do an array modifier, and we'll do it every 4 or -4. Maybe -5. Let's try -3. -5. And the camera is going to move. Essentially, what the camera is going to do is going to do one of these. Let me just set a keyframe. I want it to do one of these. But this animation for the vault is going to be backwards. Can I give my fans some inspiration? Of course I can. You know, just create the things you want to create. Especially if you're trying to do this for money. I'll say it's a very taxing road. So if you don't enjoy what you do, then you're not gonna have as much success as you would like. 3D modeling and just learning 3D programs in general takes a lot of patience. I would say I'm about 5 years into this journey, in which only 2 years have been really 3D related. So it's like you got to be in it for the long haul. You're not just going to get good at something overnight. Although there are a lot of materials available now for learning on the go, especially on YouTube and everything. But if you don't take the time to just practice in these programs, you're not going to get good, sadly. Yeah, I hope that kind of helps people get into that headset. But yeah, it's been a lot of struggle to do this, and I don't quit on things, so definitely trying to, you know, just keep it going one day at a time. I'm just gonna try and reverse this animation really fast. I might be screwing it all up, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, there's tutorials for everything, almost everything. Although I have been having some issues with Unreal Engine. It's been a pain to find good information on that program. But I mean, just look at Calvin. Like, you got so many tutorials, man. You're teaching the youth. People are gonna be loving you for years to come. Oh my God. It is boiling hot in this room. Alright, so I gotta start changing some things around. Reverse order. Okay, so this is the door and this is the lock. So this should be last. I'm definitely hyped on that like environment shit I'm working on. That should be really dope for the city gallery. That's going to be an Unreal Engine. Maybe one day, once I have a decent GPU that I can spare some time, I can maybe stream some of it. But I don't know, it's going to be really hard to acquire a nice GPU these days. Alright, so all this needs to come a little bit closer. Yeah, the hustle is just all about literally creating the things you want to create. And just trying to do things that no one else is doing. It's really easy to kind of see what everyone else is doing because all on social media, and like sometimes you just got to put the blinders on, be like, I want to learn how to do this, and then just go and do that. Alright, that's looking decent. I haven't quite decided how I want the shoe to be displayed. I know the animation I want it to be like floating, as if it's like a magical shoe. Like, think like there's like a scene in iRobot where essentially the robot goes to grab like nanite cells or something like that, and it's like just floating in this like goo. There's gonna be no goo, but the shoe will be floating. I'll probably give it like a noise modifier to give it a little bit of flow up and down and a little bit of rotation. And then I'm thinking about either it be on like a nice kind of like my other test render that I did where it's like gold. I think I might put it on something like this and maybe really up the subdivisions so that it's really sharp looking. And then I want to add some like lasers so like you almost like can't even break into it. Like maybe Jason Statham could break into it, but I don't think anyone really could. Well, let's continue on. Let's add another array modifier. Just one, or maybe two, and then let's do 3. Okay, that's not gonna work. Try -2. I feel like that might be too close to the wall. It's hard to really gauge how. Okay, maybe it's like a -1. No, it is not a -1. 1.5, -1.5. See it in render view. Probably need to bump down the emission a little bit, but we'll get there. Alright, we'll add one more array modifier and we'll set it to 1.5. 1.25. Wait, why are there 2? Oh, that shouldn't be like that. Let's see. You got quite the dilemma here. Alright, maybe what I need to do is delete this. Apply that, save that, move these over here, and then add another array modifier with a count of 3 and spaced by 1.5, and bam. Not too shabby. Take another sip of my tea real quick. We're going to check it out in cycles. Switch this over to GPU. Definitely going to be a long night. I can feel that. Yeah, so Cycles is loading up at the moment. This is where things might get a little dicey on stream, just because I might actually crack open my door real quick because the heat is just getting hotter and hotter, and I'm fearing that my whole power grid might shut down. It has happened many times before. Usually it's like 2 a.m. at night. I'm rendering something super heavy, and my CPU and GPU just basically spike the power on my side of the house, and essentially I gotta go trip the breaker gets tripped, and I gotta go reset it. So alright, maybe switching to Cycles was a mistake. We ain't getting nowhere. Okay, it's loading. That didn't look half bad. What y'all think? It's like kind of close, other than like the materials, which I can do some adjusting. It's a lot more gray in here. I think the contrast in my scene is a little too much at the moment, but it's a good start. Alright, let's keep it moving. Appreciate the feedback, man. I'm going back to Eevee in the meantime, though. Nice. Okay. I think it's time to work on the other side of the, time to work on the other side of the vault, the inside section. I don't think the vault would actually be this big, so I gotta do something about these two. Oh yeah, it's an array modifier that I think can adjust. Let's do like 15 ain't half bad. So that's another thing to keep in mind, especially when using the array modifier. As you've probably seen, I've applied it a few times. Generally, I only apply a modifier when I know I'm good using it. Like, I don't need to make any more adjustments, because once you do apply the modifier, it becomes a static mesh, and then you can still go and edit in edit mode. Like, let me show you all the lights. Like, if I was to click on the lights, I just gotta find the original. So I can still go in and edit it, and then it will adjust all of the iterations of it, but good rule of thumb is don't apply modifiers until you know you're ready to not have to use them anymore. Alright, so that's like not too bad. I'm just looking at like how big the shoe is, and like I could always make it bigger, but it is kind of to scale, so that means I really got to take down the vault. But I could also block off some of the wall, like cut it down 1/3 by just adding a wall in between. Kind of like just like, let's see. If I duplicate, actually I can't duplicate it. Play around with some things. Maybe do some more modeling. Always good practice to get some modeling in, because I don't really model a lot. I tend to just use materials and use assets that I find on the internet, just because it's a lot easier to do it that way. But knowing how to model and create the things you want is a good way to just stay on top of things. Oh, what do we got going on here? Yeah, so I'm using the edge tool to add some edges in, so that when I go into modifying the wall, I can basically just take these two, because I want to cut it down. We'll just extrude them out. Is the floor not touching the ground? I don't believe it is. I should be looking at solid view for this. Oh. Still like a hair too big, but let's just connect them. Alright, this is where things really start to suck, is when I can't see the things that I want to work on. Yo, appreciate you popping in, Calvin. I'll definitely be doing this for like another hour or two. Just raise the floor up a bit. I guess we'll just leave it there. Alright, this is... I need to get rid of the vault for a second so I can really see what's going on. Alright, we're going to bring in another model. I don't know which one it is. Going to be a lot harder than I thought. Alright, we'll try this. If it's not, we'll go and find it afterwards, but I'm really hoping that this is the thing I'm looking for. Just basically looking for a column. And if this is the right... No. That ain't it. Alright, I'm gonna have to pop open another Blender file and just pull it from that. Whoa. Yeah, I need this thing. Column. Alright. Should be easy enough to find. Maybe not. Column, there we go. Alright, so one of the little tricks I like to do sometimes, as you see me kind of messing around with, like, I can't get the right view to really kind of work on this scene, I'm basically just going to add so I'm going to shift S, and I'm going to set the cursor to the selected object, which is this. So now my cursor, whenever I spawn in a new object, will basically spawn it right here, and then we're going to move it to the side here. And then make sure that it's selected, and then cool. Yeah, now I got a camera at least that I can use as a reference on the shoe just to make sure things are all set. Yeah, so the idea is the shoe is gonna be sitting on this this column, but they're gonna be like lasers all around it to make sure that it's like nobody can break in, because it's the Blueprint Air Force One. And if you are wondering where I got the Air Force One model, I did buy it somewhere on, I think, like CG Trader for like $10. What I do like about the model though is that you can customize like all the layers. So right now they're all linked to one, but I can always go in personally and change each layer. So like a lot of cool different ideas you can do. I used to mess around and make sure that they were all kind of like the same style, but sorry, different styles, where you can like make the Nike swoosh different color. But like I said, I think I just want to go with the all white, just because it's like it's so classic. I mean, I definitely had a pair of those. Fun story, while I was in college, first ever college party I ever went to, this person basically spilled fruit punch all over the last pair of white Air Forces I ever wore in my life. And it was super tragic, but that's college for you, you know? Happens. So I'm adding a subdivision modifier to this, but I'm going to keep it at simple so it stays pretty sharp. I'm wondering if I should make this like a little bit bigger, but like just on the X and the Y. So let's try like a 1.8 by a 1.8, or maybe a 2 by 2. Yeah, I like 2 by 2. Because, like I said, I'm going to have lasers popping out of this. Oh, what's going on? There we go. Oh, weird. Alright, so let's get these lasers going. I think this is going to be like what really sells this animation. Is cool. Or maybe like gold bars. That'd be kind of dope. We want super thin and obviously tall. They got to go to the ceiling. Not thin enough. Maybe a little bit. I don't want them to be too thin, but like I said, they're like lasers, and they're going to be hopefully animated, given I can figure it out. Wow, that is tall. Is the ceiling really that tall? Let's see how it looks with the vault. Go back to camera 1. I'll just put an emission shader on this guy. And then, just for the sake of it, I'm going to add a noise texture, and I want to adjust this thing. Alright, let's see what we can do. Make this a little cooler. That ain't what I'm trying to do. Maybe, let's see, make it decimate. Change it to like a blue or something. Like close, not fully what I'm looking for, but wow, that's way closer to the vault than I was expecting. So let's just move it all back. It's a little more center. Back to camera 1. Let's do like 2.25. We will get rid of the displace for the time being. We need to get a better material for this. Ooh, let's go to bridge. Bridge. There was a super dope marble material that I already had downloaded that I want to add to that. I think it'll definitely give it a better look than it has right now. This is number 1, and this is number 2. These items are going to be close up, so it's like I might as well put the 4K in there. Oh, could not send the data over. Uh-oh. What's going on? Try the 2K. Come on, work for me. Oof. Let's try closing bridge, and then we'll reopen it. Alright, we'll play around with some different ideas. Ooh, that's already looking nicer. Statue of Liberty vibe. What did I just use? Oh, the brush steel. I might as well give this a little animation. I did not save the new camera. Make sure to always set your new keyframes. Let's try like 2.5 and like drop it down to a 90. And then we'll do 10 just for the sake of keeping it even. Keep messing this up. I gotta get this out of the way. If you ever need to hide anything, we'll highlight it on the layer. You can just hit H. Unfortunately, you can't just hit H to bring it back. You have to go and manually put it in. No biggie. Not really digging the emission shader vibe at the moment. Maybe it's just because, like, we'll work with it though. Let's just get these all. So I'm basically just duplicating these by hitting Shift D. Actually, Shift D both of them. Move them on the Y axis in the right direction. Oh, that's weird. Alright, let's try this again. Highlight both of them. Shift D. Move them on the Y. There we go. Maybe it'll look better if they're just white. Oh yeah, that could look dope. Definitely gonna turn it down a bit. Try like 12, 10, 7, 5. I don't know why it keeps trying to displace more on the Z axis. Yeah, I don't get why it keeps trying to work on the Z axis. That's really pissing me off. Alright, we'll keep that for the time being. And then, would it be worth adding more? Ooh, it would be kind of cool if they are animated. Yeah, that's no good. Maybe the lasers thing ain't the move. Yeah, the floor definitely ain't on the... It's not all the way up. let's iron out our animation a little bit because we're kind of in whack mode. I don't like how it's so low to the ground, so maybe if I raise it up to 2.75 as we go, maybe. Alright. Let's give the shoe a little bit of an animation. Already coming up on 11. So this is one of the oldest tricks. If you use After Effects, it's kind of like the wiggle tool, but in the graph editor, you got to set a keyframe first in order to see the different properties available. So I got the Z axis right here. I'm going to add a noise modifier, and I'm going to give it a scale of like 25. Now you can see that the graph came a little bit more smooth, but the strength right now obviously is too strong. Maybe like 48 would be a better one. I want it to be a real subtle animation, like nothing too crazy, but we definitely need to raise it up a little bit higher. Let's try like 75. Man, why is the camera moving so fast? Maybe this needs to be like 320. That's already too high. Two 2.5, 2.6. That's the money spot right there. And then let's add a little bit of rotation on the X. Do like 23 and like 0.01. More than that. We'll switch to our other camera just so we can get a little bit better idea of what's going on. Alright, so maybe like a 0.3. And then like a 75 so that it's like... Basically, the larger the scale is, you see how much longer it takes to kind of rotate. Feels like a little bit more natural. I'm hopefully going to add some other stuff to it that'll clean it up a bit. Bigger scale, though. And then change the phase so that they're not, like, moving at the same pace. You see how they're like before, if I left the phase at 0, they're like basically operating on the same curve. No need for that. Mix it up. Makes it feel like it's really floating there. And then change these so it's not just like a sudden start. hate how it's doing that. Yeah, we want it to be like a natural grow. And then now we gotta change the vault to be further. Well, we got it. We figured it out. Slowly but surely, we're figuring it out. Alright, let's see how it looks in rendered view. I'm going to give myself a little mental break for a second. I don't have the, turn the roof back on. You can already see how much the scene is taking memory-wise, as my frames per second is like just barely under 4 frames per second. I really don't know what I'm going to do with all this extra space, though. I feel like framing could be better. Maybe just the statue and the shoe need to be bigger in general. I could put lights in there. That might help things a bit. I feel like I want that the vault to close a little earlier, so we're a little bit closer. But also the key to this might be to just slow down the animation, maybe bring it in a little closer, like a -25. Switch it to automatic. Alright, let's just like move the vault animation just like a hair closer. Like we want it to be shutting, yeah, like right there. I definitely got to bring the ceiling down over there a bit. I kind of want to put some gold on here. Let's try. Let's just take a look. Not that gold. I like Columbia rough. Play around with it some more. Not feeling it completely. Really don't know what to think about these emissions. Part of me like likes it, but the other half of me is like, it's not where it needs to be. And maybe if like this platform here was a circle, which I don't know if I can go in and maybe I'll be able to adjust it. try, select. Let's do a new material. Yeah, that ain't it either. Keep trial and error. That's all it is. We're like close. I don't particularly like the walls. Let's find a better wall. Quixel Bridge hopefully is working again. Maybe it's time to separate the wall from the other wall. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Let's see if I remember how to do this properly. Cool. So now that it's its own mesh, I can delete it or duplicate it, whichever one I may feel like doing. I do want to try something. See if we can like replicate. That's much more of the look I'm going for. And I can color that too. Alright, we'll just do it the annoying way. The way I was doing it before with the array modifier. Let's try 15, 12. Ooh, that's actually pretty close. Don't need to give it as much space as I thought I would. Make sure we're touching the ground. Add a second array modifier that will be going up on the z-axis by 1. Oh, maybe we can't do that because it's... Sorry, it's the y-axis. Alright, that's one wall. Rotate it 90 degrees on the Z. Easy. And then just duplicate and bring on over here. Thinking maybe we switch the camera back to 50 millimeters. I I think we'll just get like a little bit better first starting to the animation. These walls aren't touching properly. Always good to double check your walls. Yeah, so far so good. It's not like exactly where I want it, but it's like good enough that I feel good with myself, you know what I'm saying? I still don't like the height of where it exits. Ooh, here's an idea. Bump her up to 70. And we'll end at 24. And we'll end at 35. And maybe make it 27.5. Alright, so we gotta end back at negative 25. Getting there. Alright, let's maybe play with the HDRI a little bit. Too bright. Just looking for like the right. It's alright. Would it be worth adding the lights over here and get rid of the array? Yeah, we're just gonna quickly get rid of all these. There was definitely an easier way to do that, but just getting rid of all these vertices. Almost there. One more. Cool. So now we just have this soul light. Just get it lined up. It's just kind of playing around, seeing if we can get a decent lighting set up in here. Crank that on the 90. Back it up. Just eyeballing here. Let's take these away. Just see how that looks. Definitely running out of steam if you hear me not talking. I'm just like kind of fried. Maybe if I change the color. Hey, look, what would it look like if I gave it an emission shader? I hope these aren't linked. And yes, they are. Whoo! Alright, power through. Alright, we'll switch to cycles. Do a quick save. I'm going to do a quick test render on stream. shoot. I forgot to take out the emission lights from the render. This will also give me a good checkpoint as to how long the scene is going to take to render, because if it's any more than a minute per frame, I am toast. I definitely want to add more stuff to it, but it's not necessary. It might also just be because I'm on stream too, so we'll see. Alright, we're already at like 45 seconds. Alright, let's see. I mean, it looks decent. We'll see how it looks with the emission. I mean, the background looks great. I'll say that. The shoe looks decent. Not like so hyped on the material, but like I'll definitely take it. Some weird like tiling going on in the mesh below of the, maybe the material's just not the right one for it, or the subdivision surface modifier is not doing what I asked it to do. Looks good. Part of me wants to render this in 4K, because like you can just see, like, obviously could be look nicer. Let me do a quick render without the emission, because like I said, I'm not thrilled on that. So like if I don't have it in there, it could be good. Let's try 2560 by 1440, and we'll do another quick render. Also, I have an ultra wide monitor, so if you're wondering why I'm using this extremely weird aspect ratio, for stream, it's just like the easiest way for me to work. Having more screen definitely allows me to see more and just do more on screen. I definitely want to start doing renders in 1920 by 1080 just for optimization of streams, but also it's just a lot easier for me to work this way. Alright, so we're rendering. Definitely going to take a little bit longer than last time because I upped it. Oh yeah, 3 minutes a frame. That's tough. Definitely will look a whole lot better though. Tough. Yeah, the material, I think like it needs to be like a marble material. Steel is a little too cold turkey for me. Let's just do a quick EV render. Let's try like 200 samples. Bear with me for another third render. That could be cool. I think the tiles will ruin it, but gonna guess it's gonna be like a minute 30 per frame for Eevee. Not too horrible. 43 seconds. Yeah, so let's change up the material. Can't remember if I already imported those marble materials. I like this one. Please don't fail. Oof. Can I just send this one? Please, please. Please check log for details. You know, they say that, but where's the log? Alright. Time to improvise. Alright, maybe I'll just do a quick save. Power that down. We'll refire up our project. See if that also helps bridge. Come on, Quixel. Just gonna try something really quickly. Just want to see how it looks. Alright, so to basically solve what I'm trying to do, I need to apply the modifier for just this specific one, and then I should line this up a little bit better. Good enough. not nailing this. It's just actually, why make this hard when I can just delete the faces inside? Does that work for what I'm trying to do? Oh. Oh yeah, no, it worked. And then, like, if I really wanted to, alright, I think it's time to now make this bigger. That was really killing me, like just staring at it super low to the ground. I think this will make a big difference. Is there like any move? Could use some more movement. Oh, the is there a Nike vector around? I got caps lock on. I need the SVG, please. If you did not know, you can import SVG vector files into your scene, and hopefully, if I do this right, it'll turn out the way I want it to, and I'll do something super dope with it. No guarantees, though. Alright, let's get our cursor back to the world origin, and if I could just remember where to import. Scalable vector graphics logo Nike. Please tell me. There we go. Where's she blow? Nice. I think that should honestly go on the back wall. Come back down. All right, we just gotta like get this centered. Let's just make it a mesh. Operating as a curve right now, so basically to make this a mesh because it's a curve, Just want to make sure. High quality. Oof, that's not what we're trying to do. Alright, maybe we're just making a mesh, like I said I was going to do. Cool. Now that it's a mesh, let's see how many alright, guess not. I was gonna try and in edit mode basically extrude the back of it, then rather than deal with it as a curve and see if I could get some geometry, but this, oh, did it again. Where is my Nike sign? There we go. Alright, let's give it a node. So I'm either going to make it like gold. I want to try using an emission shader. I think that might look fly. Not sure how I feel about it yet. Real quick, let's just try. The other idea I had was putting it on the floor. See how that might look. Too big. Kind of looks clean. Maybe like hair bigger. Nope. Let's try 42 by 42 by 42. Would it be doper if I put it in the middle? Let's duplicate the cameras. But instead, Something's fishy. Let's see if we can clean this up now. Let's set them all to automatic keyframes and hope that let's take a look. That looks better. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out ways to make this scene brighter without adding too many more lights, because the more lights I add, but I do kind of want to put like a floor plane together where it's like a super thin strip. Get it on that side. Like a super thin strip that really brightens up the outside walls. Not too much. Really only makes sense to start with the back wall. Oh. Makes sense to start with the back wall. So maybe it might be worth cranking this sucker up. Try like 20. Just like the tiniest bit of glow, and maybe we do the same for the ceiling. Oop. Keep clicking on the wrong thing. Let me figure out where I named this. Like it should be higher, right? Like it should be sitting like right there. Just worried about the cameras. Yeah. It's hard to have the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying? When we start our billion-dollar company, bro, right now. It's happening right now. I don't know if I really like that animation. I'll hide that for the time being. Something's got to be out here, though. Any ideas of what I should put out in the vault room? I want to keep it kind of minimal, but at the same time, I got to give it some pop. I was thinking maybe like some like red velvet rope leading to it. I want to put the Nike sign. Like I had a Nike sign and I had a secondary camera animation that essentially would back out and then land on the ground. It's just not smooth at the moment. Actually, I could just clean it up real quick. Like all this is stiff. Need to have it loose. Oh no. Why can't I get the Z location? There we go. Alright, now we gotta solve for the X value. Alright, let's see what we got. See how we looking. Alright, probably gonna play at a super slow speed. That room still, the vault room still feels too big in my opinion. But maybe if I had some depth of field, that might make me change my mind. Let's do a quick test render on how this looks. Like I said, I'm rendering in 2K resolution. I'd like to do 4K, but I don't think I can spare like the 20-minute of frame render. It would look sick, but is anyone really going to see it in 4K? Probably not. Would be cool to put some like low rolling fog. Can't speak at this hour. It's not bad. Let's do another test render of like, yeah, let's do a shot of that. Cheers if you're still rolling with me. Thursday. Alright, I'm gonna mute myself for a second, drink a sip of water. Now, I really don't like, you can kind of see, like, on the statue, like, I want it to be better, you know? Also, I think I know something I could do that could be gold. Be look kind of sick if this was gold. Brushed steel would be a good start. Oh, I lost all the gold. Time to bring it back. I want to say I got these metal materials off Blend Swap. Just in case you do end up, somebody does go end up looking for them. But I've also purchased a couple metal packs. Ooh, that looks kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie. I could be into that. What would it look like if this was gold? I mean, it would be kind of dope if it was like changing colors. I do think at this stage, alright, we could fix. Alright, I guess the goal is to do it one camera at a time. Let's do like 9. And we could bring this up a notch. I should probably do this in render view. Hold up a minute. more rotation. Let's just do it. Just want to make sure the shoe is right. This is camera 2. Alright, let's see what camera 1 looks like. Should there be more gold on? Kind of like the low amount of gold. I like wouldn't mind one more feature to be more gold. Anyone watching got any insights, please feel free to drop them. See, like, I'm not liking it on the outside of the door, especially because of how dark the contrast is. Does it make sense for the camera to keep moving though afterwards? Oh, I think I know what needs to be gold. The bars. Bear with me. Bear with me. We're working. Figuring it out. Alright. Sometimes I do that way too often where I just start clicking on things and you just start wasting time. It's like, get it together. Should I use Columbia gold? That do look fly. That does look fly. Let's take a look. I really do like that wall. And those materials, like I said, came from Quixel Bridge. Owned by Epic Games. You need an Epic Games account, or like they have other signups, but I have an Epic Games account because I use Unreal Engine. Highly recommend. I'm super satisfied always. It does bog up my renders big time when I use their materials, but super worth it. See, now I'm not loving the gold anymore. It's like there either needs to be more gold or no gold, or just that like slight accent on the inside of the door. You can kind of see like that looks great, and then as soon as it gets like, it doesn't look bad close. Oh, actually it does, looks pretty decent. I'm torn. Let's see the other camera. Is there a slight drift? Alright, so ideally I would like to do this at 24 frames per second. It's at 15 seconds right now. Is it worth stretching it to 20? Maybe for that, but for this one, I think 15 seconds is the win. Alright, now we need to get more light on the shoe. This might be where the area light could come in. Come on. Try 5. Still need more light. One area up. Let's see. One area light isn't gonna hurt the scene, but I would prefer to use emission shaders. Try like 50. And let's hit it at a 90. Don't want any shadows. $25. 30. This may sink me to the ground, but we're going to switch to cycles and take a quick preview. Oh. Is this just me, or does that not look right? Looks super dark. If anyone's watching the stream right now and has input on the gold, please let me know. I'm definitely gonna keep the inside trim gold, but I don't know if I want to keep the door handle gold. I'm not sure on it, and it's gonna tear me apart. Really just doing some material previews. Let's see what it looks like without the HDRI lighting as well. I don't know if it's fully needed at the moment. Like if we just give it a good old black background, that could look pretty boss. Just do a quick render. Curious as to how long I've been rolling for, so we're gonna take a quick peek. Sorry, I just was looking at my phone. I mean, this ain't looking too bad. I think the other gold bars, like the handle, that, and that, I should definitely turn gold. Like if I'm gonna do this thing, then I should do this thing. Damn, both Cycles and Eevee look really good right now, and I'm torn between like which one I should stick with. I think turning the HDRI off was a good idea. There's enough in-scene lighting that it's not gonna do too much especially regarding shadows. I think if anything, it's just reflections. It's gonna really mess up my reflections with the actual natural lighting, and it's gonna take more time to render regardless because you're just adding one more asset into the scene. But I do like the gold. I feel like I should put like a sign, like Air Force One blueprint. That looks clean. That looks clean. Just gotta make sure I remember which gold I use. I think it was the Columbia. This could be overboard, to be honest, but worth a shot. Yeah, that already feels overboard. Maybe just the handle. Let's try the rough. Try the rough. Sorry, doing a quick text break if anyone's watching. Right, couple gold accents I don't mind. It's like, I don't know, part of me thinks that I should have all the screws be gold, but I still can't decide between this gold stuff. I'm just gonna go back to the original idea I had of just a few things. Not sure how much longer I'll be able to keep making these subtle changes, but we'll see. Well, it looks super good in cycles. I did want to check one thing. Let's see what it looks like this close. Doing one more render test. Get a sip of water. I did just add that area light in over the Air Force, so I should be brighter and a little bit more prominent. I think had I not added that area light in, it would defeat the whole purpose of this being like the Air Force One blueprint. Maybe it'd be worth just like taking the, maybe there's a vector of Nike Air One SVG. See how this plays out. What's really nice about Eevee, so cycles, I think all materials will look super clean and a little bit sharper. You can definitely see it with the wall. You can definitely see it with the Air Force One, and when we do the vault animation, it looks super clean. But with Eevee, you can get nice blooms, and they're super light and natural and feel a little bit more fitting. Like, this is super dark and contrasty. I also think because of cycles, it's just really highlighting the vertexes, the vertices, I should say, of the statue, and definitely I think like they're just like a little too boxy for me, but I think I have a fix for it. Alright, I don't really need to see how the rest of that goes. It's super sharp and dark. Let's go back to Eevee. We're gonna shade this smooth. Does that work? That might have fixed it. Alright, let's try a quick render. I mean, to be honest, I may render them both out in cycles and in Eevee and just be like, let's see what's good. But like I said, time is of the essence. I can't really spend a day rendering this project, although it is coming kind of similar to how I imagined. It would have been cool to figure out like the laser beams that were holding it, but I feel like it's a little bit more sci-fi than like the kind of like the urban look that I'm going for. And like when you take a look at my references, like that's kind of like the vault lobby. That was my original concept. Another one definitely looks like the same 3D model. I mean, it definitely might be the same 3D. It is the same 3D model that I'm using. That's hilarious. Good for them. I mean, like, that and this one look very close to each other. And a super good job by both artists. I should have caught, while I was on Google, who each person was. And that was just, like, the one I had in mind, but... Whoa. Why is it so dark? Huh? Let me check something. Like, it's super dark. Is it because I turned the HDRI off? I hope not, because I really liked it without the HDRI. But I guess I could pop it back in, give it like a 0.15. Well, side note, while I got you on stream, been watching season 2 of the Wu-Tang Clan show, which I was kind of nervous about because I definitely thought at first it was going to be a one season and done. Okay, we're getting further from the truth. Alright, HDRI is coming back. Okay, maybe not that low. Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan show season 2. It's pretty good so far. The character who's the actor who's playing RZA, I feel like really took a dive into doing an accent. And I mean, I know how RZA talks, but like feels slightly like not. It feels like super robotic, and I feel like it's not true to the character. But I mean, it is hard to portray someone that actually exists, and there's a lot of material. But nonetheless, I'm growing to like the season 2, the way it's going. It's definitely about assembling the Wu-Tang, which was nice. And season 1 is phenomenal. If you have not checked it out, a couple episodes where they do some things stylistically that I'm not like super up on, but for the most part, amazing show. Alright, so the consensus is I do have to keep the HDRI. I did not fix the UV issue on the statue. It looks worse, but maybe if we increase our subdivisions to 6. Alright, try it again. Just really trying to get the right look for the statue, because the last thing you want to do is have a high quality Air Force One model of really high quality 4K wall texture, some decent lighting, and then hit render and like there's a low poly statue and it makes everything feel less real. And I'm definitely aiming to do more realistic or photorealistic work, especially for animation. But one thing I need to do to make that happen is get either a second 1070 GPU in my computer and have them dual set up to render CUDA style, or